Sagat was released. Now, I've never been a big Sagat fan. I've never been like a Sagat guy. Um, but I gotta say, this version of Sagat is, in my opinion, way better than any other version that I've seen. And that is because he, in my opinion, so far from what I could see in this gameplay trailer, he's a brawler. And I love me some brawlers. Of course, I am a Terry main. Terry is one of the best brawlers ever. He's always been a brawler, by the way. He's in every iteration of Terry. He's always been a brawler, and that's my favorite archetype. Which is strange because, like, Sagat or Sagat, whatever you want to call him, uh, he's always been like a zoner, in my opinion, from what I remember from playing him and playing against him. He's always been a zoner. And basically that's what he does. He just zones you out, and then if you want to jump in on him, he has Tiger Knee or Tiger Uppercut or upper, right? And that's usually what he does. That's what he does best. Is he zones you out in that way. But I don't think that's going to be the case with him in this version of him. I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a brawler. Which, in my opinion, I mean that's gonna be awesome. I mean, what more do I personally want in a fighter than what I'm looking at here? And it's always been strange because a Sagat or Sagat, sorry, I kind of want to call him Sagat because it's funny, but um, yeah, he's never been, in my opinion, he's never represented his style well. And really Street Fighter in general, um, most of these guys never really represent their own style as well. Except for now, it's the one thing I like about Street Fighter 6 is that their styles represent um what they are. Like karate represents karate well. Boxing represents boxing well, and so on and so forth. But in the past, um, Sagat has never really represented Muay Thai well, because Muay Thai fighters, they're not really like, if we're gonna judge them by what the martial arts does, you know, they're pretty much like brawler grapplers. The Muay Thai guys are very much brawler grapplers, meaning they like to throw punches, and they like to defend punches as well, but then continue to throw punches, and then get you in the clinch. And from the clinch, they either continue to throw shots or throw you down to the ground or flip you over. Right? That's what an actual Muay Thai practitioner does in the real world. So that would either make him, a brawler grappler, or even a um a bruiser, right? If a Muay Thai character, if I was to make a Muay Thai character in a fighting game, he'd either be a bruiser or like I said, a brawler grappler. Um, and brawlers are, like I said, brawlers are my favorite archetype. But historically, Sagat has always been um, Sagat has always been a zoner, which makes sense in my opinion for like something like maybe like a boxer or even a Dutch fighter or something like that. But for a Muay Thai guy, it never really made sense to me. But the good thing about Street Fighter 6, like I said, is that they try to do their best for each fighter's gameplay to represent their particular martial arts, and I think that's what they did here. Um, and in this gameplay trailer, they showed you, that he does have zoning, right? He still has the two types of fireballs, right? But he also has all this other stuff that he could do. That makes his gameplay way better. So I right now I don't know how to describe him. I think he's gonna be like a brawler, but he does have a lot of burn through ability with his fireballs. Like his fireballs are very strong, um, to the point to where like he has really good burn through ability. But in my opinion, that doesn't necessarily make him a zoner. It makes him more of a bruiser, which is like a bruiser slash brawler. Which, by the way, they're not the same. Bruisers and brawlers are not the same. Like for example, like what's a good example of brawler? Like a brawler type archetype is like a Terry, right? Like a Terry Bogard is probably the best example of a good brawler. Um, I guess you could say Blanca in a way, even E Honda. Um, in Street Fighter 6, Ryu is a brawler. Of course, with his updates, he's more of a zoner brawler, so he's like half and half. Because his fireballs are extremely powerful. But now with Sagat, coming into the picture, and with his fireballs, it kind of nullifies Ryu. It's crazy because Ryu just got a buff, right? And everybody's complaining about Ryu's buff, except for, of course, Ryu fans and players that main Ryu are happy and stuff. But now we got Sagat with his fireballs that he's gonna win the fireball war. But I don't think he's gonna be a zoner. I think he's gonna keep those fireballs as a trump card for when he faces somebody like JP or somebody like Ryu, or Akuma, who is another big fireball guy. So I feel like that's what Sagat is gonna be. He's not gonna be a zoner, but he is gonna be a guy that if you want to zone, he has a big ass fireball for you that's gonna burn through your shit. So I'm loving what I'm looking at here, man. I mean, I am, dude. I already see how good he's gonna be, and he's gonna be a problem. They may have to fix him, in my opinion. Like in the first, he's gonna be kind of like M Bison, because I remember Bison used to be extremely good, and he still kind of is, but he's not as good as he was in the first couple of weeks. I mean, he was out of control. Like Bison was out of control, and I remember that's when people were saying that Bison or Street Fighter 6 was play to win. I mean, pay to win, because Bison was just killing everybody. Like fireballs didn't mean shit. Bison had the most not give a fuck moves in the game in the beginning, to where it was like, man, like I could pretty much do whatever I want because my shit's gonna burn through your fireballs. I could jump over your fireballs if I want. I could make you guess in the corner. So and the thing, speaking about that, like Street Fighter 6 is probably the most brawler like game, or like it behooves you, I guess, or it's better if you are a brawler in this game because the corner is deadly. And if you know anything about the brawler archetypes, is they love the corner. I know if I get you in the corner as a brawler in any game, it's gonna be a problem for you. And I'm gonna be happy having you in the corner because that's where I make you guess, and that's where I'm gonna get my big buttons and everything. And you're pretty much not gonna get out of the corner, right? But unless you're Ken, because he has I think Ken has probably the most the most switches in the game. I'm not sure. I think maybe Rashid, as well. But anyways, my thing is like in Street Fighter 6, the screen isn't that big to begin with, right? So it's not like you have a lot of space to do much, right? So and you're not really zipping and zapping across the screen like, for example, Marvel versus Capcom, to where you have more space and you could go vertically up and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of space. So it's better for a brawler archetype to fight in a Street Fighter 6 type of environment. And then of course the corner is already deadly. Then you add that to the fact that you are a brawler archetype, and you're gonna be eating like brawlers are eating in Street Fighter 6 for sure. And with this Sagat trailer, it's like, bro, it's like I feel like maybe that's what they like too. That's what Street Fighter 6 and the devs like too. I think they like brawlers. And the fact that Alex is coming in pretty soon, Alex is a brawler grappler. you know, so and I mean when he comes in, dude, because I used to like him in Third Strike, but I never mained him because he was just hard to use. Um, Alex, and I actually went back and played him in Street Fighter 5 because I was excited about the fact that he was coming back in Street Fighter 6 Season 3. And so I went back just to see what I could expect. Now, I will say this. I didn't like Alex. He is a brawler, grappler, but his brawling abilities are almost hidden behind a charge character type of mechanics. Yeah, charge mechanics. So you gotta hold down and do different types of stuff. And maybe I haven't figured out his sauce, but to me a lot of that stuff was kind of useless. Because in my opinion, if you're gonna have brawler moves, they have to, each one of them has to give you an advantage when you make your opponent guess. Like if I was to make a perfect brawler, he would have an ability to go over a fireball, an ability to go under a fireball, and an ability to cut the distance, either through burn through ability, like burn through fireballs, or just cut the distance really fast and be in your face. So with those three things, you have the ability to be a very good brawler. And then if they give you combo ability right after that, I mean, you could be one of the best brawlers ever, right? But when it comes to Alex in Street Fighter 5, hey, I really didn't I really didn't enjoy playing with him that much. And that's crazy because, like I said, I love me some brawlers. Um, but it's just like his the stuff that I just mentioned. He has those moves kind of, but not really. They're all jumping abilities. They're all jumping moves. So he jumps and he either headbutts you, or he jumps and he just stomps, or he jumps and it's all jumps. So I think you need more than that to be an effective and good brawler, in my opinion, my personal opinion. Now, of course, I haven't gone online and checked other Alex's what they do, and they're probably gonna do something way better. But just from my personal experience, I don't think he's one of the best brawlers out there. Um, and but like I said, I gotta check what other people are doing. Like, if anybody could recommend some good Alex players from Street Fighter Five that I could check out, I'm pretty sure he does have some pretty good sauce. But me personally, I couldn't get into Alex that much, especially when all of his brawler techniques are hidden under charge like attacks. I don't enjoy charge characters. I just don't enjoy um the charge movements. They frustrate me. I don't really like that. I prefer quarter circles, or even modern. If I could do modern, like I'm gonna make another video on that. Modern is just easier, and for a strategic person, I think it's better to use modern. But that's just me, anyways. But yeah, getting back to Sagat, I think Sagat is a brawler, and I think he's going to be a very good brawler. Um, and I think this represents Muay Thai style way better than a zoner. And now the thing is, like, I heard somebody say that he's not a zoner because he doesn't have the ability to slow down the fireballs, because they're in the old games. Usually Sagat has the ability to make like a fast fireball, slow fireball, um, uh, in a low fireball, and to play around with those fireballs in order to keep the opponent guessing and keep the opponent at a distance. The thing about that is that Street Fighter's screen is not that big and the space is not that huge, so that's not going to be a problem in Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is more friendly to a brawler type archetype, anyways, and even to a certain extent to a grappler as well. Um, so I don't think that he needs that type of fireball ability in this particular game, in my opinion. Um, and I think the main thing you need here is speed, and, like I said, burn through ability. The ability to burn through other fireballs and the ability to burn through other attacks and still continue to, which he has a lot of that. Um, yeah, I mean, what's not to like about Sagat, man? I mean, he's I feel like he's gonna be top tier for sure, and I really never say that because I don't like to, like, a lot of these fighters, Street Fighters, a lot of these characters, you can't really tell until they come out and you get your hands on them. But, like, just looking at him and looking at the stuff he has, I mean, he's gonna be top tier for sure. Okay, you're not gonna be able to zone him, right? Um, you're not gonna be able to jump in on him, okay, because he has, he could stop that for sure. I think he has two ways of stopping it, because if you look at his tiger knee, it has the ability to do that too. It's not just a like, for example, what is it called, crepe shoot or crap shoot? I forgot what the name of Terry Bogard's anti fireball. It's called a crepe shoot or something like that. It has the ability to go over fireballs, right? If you time it right, and if you know how to distance manage, which is the key to be a good brawler. You have to know how to distance manage, and you have to know how to time people. So timing and distance managing is usually the key to a good brawler, or to play a good to play a brawler archetype. But Crapshoot also has, or Crepe Shoot, I don't know how to say it. Also has anti-air abilities, which is crazy because, and that's usually what I do. I disturb people's aerial attacks with Crapshoot more than with tackle or rising tackle. Rising tackle, usually I use it as a reverse DP. And or if I'm in a close range and I know he's gonna throw a fireball, then I use it, rising tackle. But I feel like Sagat's gonna be the same. I feel like Sagat, his Tiger Knee is gonna have anti-air abilities as well. So if that's the case, he's pretty much gonna be Terry Bogard on crack. I mean, he's dude. I'm looking at him right now, dude, and I'm thinking that I might gonna main him. Um, and he's definitely gonna be a problem, dude. Like people are gonna start thinking, yeah, he's pay to win again. Like that's what they used to think about Bison. Of course, they fixed him. Um, but yeah, it's. I can't wait, and I can't wait to see what they do with Alex, because I feel like Alex was different from Third Strike, to to um to Street Fighter Five, and I feel like there's another game he's in as well. He's also different from that game as well. So Alex has always been different, but they're always trying to make him a good brawler. He always has brawler like moves, but they don't always work, and I feel like my advice to them for this iteration of Alex, which by the way we have to wait a whole year for him, but my advice is to, I don't know, do something to where he because back in Third Strike he had this dive that I used to love, where it was similar. It wasn't like Makoto's dive, because Makoto has probably the best super, to where you could literally go, if you're against the wall, you could do that super and it goes into the corner and hits you. It was similar to that, but it was just a move that Alex had, to where he kind of dives at you, and it's like a wrestler's move where he jumps off the wall. If they give him like a jump off the wall ability to where he could go over fireballs, bro, it's over, bro. Alex is gonna be top tier, bro, because they need to do something like that with Alex. They need to give him an ability to jump over fireballs like a good little brawler should do. Um, and maybe roll, because wrestlers roll. So maybe you could roll under a fireball and go for like a grab on the floor, tackle you with after he rolls under the fireball, he tackles you, and then he just, I don't know, cracks your arm or something. Because the thing about Alex and his fighting style, outside of Street Fighter, he would be kind of like a catch wrestler that could kickbox. And in real life, dude, Alex would be a nightmare. Like, if he was a real fighter for real, the dude would be a nightmare, dude. He would be like, just think about a guy who knows how to kickbox, because that's what it says. His martial arts is kickboxing and wrestling. All right, just think about that. It's pretty much like a Muay Thai guy that could wrestle, which it's pretty much a Muay Thai guy. In real life, the dude, just think about it. And the type of wrestling he's doing is not necessarily pro wrestling. It's like a mix between catch wrestling and pro wrestling, which catch wrestling was a lot more brutal back in the day. Like, if he grabs your arm, he breaks it. If he grabs a knee, if he grabs a leg, he breaks it. Like, that's what catch wrestling was in the beginning. And yeah, dude, he would be deadly in an actual fight. He'd probably be one of the real ones. Um, like the most realistic one that would win, it would definitely be Alex. But we're just gonna have to see how they're going to make that happen in Street Fighter 6. Because when it comes to Sagat and the updates that they made for him, he's definitely more of an actual Muay Thai character. Of course, he's Muay Thai fighters ain't throwing fireballs and shit like that, but they did what they could with with what they had to make Sagat more of a brawler, which would be more of a Muay Thai character. Because, like I said, in the past, it's always been a problem for me because I've always been like, well, he doesn't really feel like a Muay Thai fighter, because Muay Thai fighters wouldn't necessarily be zoners. Um, yeah, but anyways, the other bad news, other than we have to wait a year for Alex, is that from what I hear, this is the only stage where we're gonna get in the third season, um, which is a bummer because I mean it's a cool looking stage. It looks beautiful, right? But my personal problem is that I wish we could at least get one more stage because we're gonna get um four more characters, right? So or three more characters, I believe. So it's gonna be Viper, Alex, and Ingrid. But this is the last stage we're gonna get. I wanted one for Alex, and maybe one for Ingrid, because Ingrid, she's one of these characters that transcends Street Fighter in a way. She's kind of like she doesn't even belong in Street Fighter, and she's more of a um magical character, right? So I was thinking she was gonna be like in a cosmic background, something like maybe some planets in the background, some stars, and the Milky Way, and maybe like books flying around, floating around, and she just picks up a book and starts reading it and shit, like kind of like a cosmic library or some shit. But no, this is the only thing we're gonna get. And Alex, I mean, Alex would have been cool too, because he's usually in a regular ass boxing gym. Like if you look at the comic books, and if you look at the some of the stages that he has in the past, or the not the stages, but in the background when he's talking, like in his cutscenes, you usually see like a regular as boxing gym in the background, which is cool because he seems to be like a very practical type of fighter, very no nonsense type of guy. And in Third Strike, I think it was the subway, because he's very much like a New Yorker, right? So he's like in the subway, just chilling there. Um, but I mean, unfortunately, this is all we're gonna get this time, so we're just gonna have to wait and see, guys.